here. I also go by Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. So this was actually a message that was coming through last night, and this is not for everybody, but you'll know if this is for you as we progress. So please take the messages as they resonate. I'm recording this on November 6th, so the day after the full moon Taurus, and like I said, this was hitting me last night coming through, and I almost got out of bed, and I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow. This full moon is so complex and amazing and beautiful and trying for some people, not everybody. The moon being in Taurus is normally a very positive energy to work with, a very uplifting energy to work with, a very nourishing and securing energy to work with. Some of the aspects that we have for this full moon, which we're still in, by the way, even though we're past the peak of it, I was equating them to happy beginnings. Happy beginnings, taking bold action from a higher mind, recognizing that if any dark, cloudy, doubtful, insecure emotions come up or events around us that cause a lot of doubt or insecurity arise, which is also actually Taurus, that it is an illusion. It is just a distraction from truth, from hope, from love, from desire, from what we want. This is very much a time of embracing fully and honoring fully what we deeply desire and what we are passionate about and what we deserve, and not being afraid to go for that, even if it requires really bold action, and even if it requires looking at things from a very large, big picture like thinking, not just intellectual, but very intuitive, very emotional, and very instinctive. I want to talk about Taurus a little bit. I'm going to come to why I have the strength card out here. They were showing me the strength card with this message that was coming through. With Taurus, Taurus can represent a lot of things, material security and value being a part of that, but Taurus also rules pleasure in that Venusian-like way, and comfort and nourishment of the body especially. But it also rules the senses. It also impacts the solar plexus. It also impacts the nervous system. And so this was something that was coming up again last night, and then I started to see it come up in some of my client sessions today. So if this message is for you, this is the message for those who may have felt the impact of those dark, cloudy emotions of insecurity or doubt or fear or uncertainty. The noise, if you will. This noise could have come up internally, or it can arise internally. It can even occur externally from other people projecting it onto you or throwing it your way. The Strength card is the balance, the willpower, the heart, the big-hearted, angelic, even lion-hearted energy here of how we handle the noise, of how we handle the fear, how we handle the insecurity, how we handle the uncertainty, how we handle the doubt. In the body, this could have arose in the solar plexus. In the belly, it could impact your sense of confidence, your sense of belief, your power of belief. Belief drives so many things of how we experience our life and our reality. The truth is that this is a time of happy beginnings, and I'm saying that very intentionally. Not happy endings, not the end and then we arise, not the in-between. It is a happy beginning. And believing in that, focusing your belief on that, holding on to your belief on that, is part of what keeps us there, part of what keeps us focused on it and clear about it. This is a call to observe your relationship to the noise. What is your relationship to the noise within you, within your belly, within your primal animal instincts, which can be rooted, connected to your nervous system and how your nervous system reacts. With our nervous system reactions, for some people, that can also pertain to trauma responses. Right? That can also pertain to things with like the vagus nerve, for example, like, things like a nervous stomach, right? Even, if you will. I do feel there's also a collective at this time where this full moon may be challenging you in a way of actually clearing some very deeply embedded nervous system responses that pertain to insecurity and doubt and fear and all of that, that can paralyze us, that can shut off our belief, that can make us feel so clear one moment and then so confused the next and so uncertain the next. For a lot of people who may be resonating with this, that is actually clearing out of the body and clearing out of the system. Especially if you have been resonating with my recent messages of receiving some sort of calls or activations of sorts in recent days since Halloween or Samhain, if you ascribe to that um, verbiage, that verbiage. In clearing this out of the nervous system and the solar plexus, sometimes when things get cleared out, they get really loud first. And some people may experience that as analysis paralysis. Some people may experience that as like a fight, fawn, or freeze response. Some people may experience that as a spiraling, a panicking, even panic attacks. This is not everybody. I think there are a lot of people who are actually really in the exalted, uplifting, joyful experience of this full moon Taurus and what it has to offer. But for some people, this is actually this kind of high intensity of joy and happiness and upliftment and optimism of what's ahead and going for what you want is actually highlighting these things that want to be cleared out of your system. So if it gets loud, if it gets overwhelming, if it feels crippling, just know that it's leaving. Just know that those responses, those patterns are being done away with. And it's just being loud right now because it's on its way out. And if it is overwhelming to you, even physically, energetically, emotionally, give yourself the time, because this a full moon is not just a day. We have the days leading up to it. We have the days preceding it, coming after it, right? And so we are just in the bloop, the coming off of the climax of it phase. So I would recommend a whole like moon cycle for you if that is happening for you, like a 2.5, 3 day respite of just letting this be purged out of your system. Now, because this can also impact the solar plexus and Taurus also touches the solar plexus, this can be impacting your digestion, bowel movements, things of that nature, how you are intaking food, what foods you even want, what foods you don't want. You may actually find that your body's wanting one very specific kind of food, like maybe only wanting fruits, for example, which actually would flush out the system pretty well, like juicing. So you may be called to juicing. Sorry, that's Clyde making all that noise. I'm actually seeing the color green as I'm talking about this. Maybe you've been craving green juices, green foods, grapes. Some of my grapes are coming up. Grapes are pretty refreshing. I get that. Or maybe you're just wanting veggies, or maybe you're only wanting to fast. Maybe you're not wanting any food at all. Maybe you're wanting a lot of dairy or milk and comfort, like mother's milk. I'm hearing mother's milk. Some of you are really craving mother's milk at this time to kind of ease your way through that purging of doubt and insecurity, or again, very intense trauma response in the nervous system. And again, some of these reactions are very involuntary. So just be very kind to yourself if that is occurring for you or has been. And if that hasn't been happening and you've just been enjoying this full moon, then by all means, like, I'm loving that for you. Spread some of that joy around. Other people could use it. But the main message for people who are experiencing this uptick or huge wave of doubt or insecurity or fear or nervous system responses, just that dark cloudiness of like, wait a minute, are things going in a downward spiral? Wait a minute, are bad things about to happen, kind of a thing? This is the call to strength. This is the call to the strength card. This is not a push of willpower. I want to make that very clear, even though the strength card can represent that. It's not about pushing through. Thank you, Spirit. For some of you, you may resonate with this. If you also resonated with the owl and the snake message, the don't flinch. And I would say that if you're resonating with that message and this message, it has more to do with your own shadow than anything else. And fear can come out of the shadow. A lot of things come out of the shadow. It's kind of limitlessness. It's like, that's why it's shadow too, in a way. It's not about flinching at your own shadow. It's not about flinching at your nervous system responses, right? It's not about flinching at your own fear. It's about sitting with it, not analytically, just letting yourself feel it, letting yourself flow with it, and holding it with that love and that grace and that compassion. The strength of your own heart is what will help you to sit through this wave, this intense wave of panic or doubt or fear or confusion or insecurity, cultivating a deeper relationship with it. You may also find some nuggets of insight about yourself as you do that, as you are sitting with yourself in a very strong, compassionate, hearted way with yourself in terms of desire and in terms of want. Venus has also moved into Scorpio. Mars is also in Sagittarius, even though Mars is also creating a lot of interesting aspects with this full moon. including some two kite patterns, which is crazy. There's an opposition involved in that, but not the message. That's not why I'm here. Okay. My point is Venus and Scorpio and Mars and Sagittarius with a full moon Taurus energy, also the sun obviously being in Scorpio to create that. All of those energies have to do with passion and desire and wants and the bold action we take to pursue that. You're allowed to want what you want. It's time to also believe that you can have what you want, that you can experience what you want to experience. It's all rooted in your belief, which again, for a lot of people, impacts the solar plexus, because belief is not just something we know. It's not just something we feel. It's not just something we crave. It's something we embody. It's something that we fully integrate and live and walk in. If you can walk fully in your belief, you're probably really good at manifesting. You're probably really good at creating the life you want. But to get there, there is a full body embodied embracing of belief. And that does mean feeling that in your core, feeling that in your solar plexus, feeling that in your fire, having your fire lit and on and being very anchored into that and being able to make action from that. Now, if you are more in that boat of having involuntary kind of nervous system responses like fear, fear, like flight, freeze, fawn, etc. A lot of those responses can feel very involuntary because it's tied to the nervous system, right? And so working through that in order to actually put the body into action mode, right? Getting connected to your core fire, your solar plexus, to then drive the body to make those bold moves and those bold actions. To do that, you actually do, sorry, let me rephrase this. I don't want to be forceful about this. It is in your highest good, it is in your benefit to consider what it would be like to sit with those responses, that nervous system response, that state you're finding yourself in, and just kind of let yourself be there and give yourself permission to be there and love yourself through that. Ooh, there goes the throat chakra. Excuse me. And to love yourself through that. And not in a generic love and light kind of way. Like when I say loving yourself through that, I mean like being compassionate with yourself, being graceful with yourself, not beating yourself up, recognizing that your body is going through a trauma response and that it's not your fault. It's just your body's way of doing what it knows to do in your highest good based off of your past experiences, which is traumatic. And that is not your fault. So if there are things that you want to take bold action on right now that you want to really believe are for you, that you want to really believe are possible, but you're struggling to get there, open your heart to yourself. Open your heart to those feelings that make you think, that make you question the validity or the possibility of those things. Open your heart to yourself in that way. That is the strength card too. And given enough time and space with that, which actually may not take as much time as you think, you may be able to cultivate a stronger relationship with your own noise, your own nervous system, to be able to actually move the body and take action in the way that you want to. And again, this isn't from force. The bold action I'm talking about with this period of time, that's coming from this like higher minded, bigger perspective place, this more embodied belief place. It's not force. It's not aggression. It's not struggle. It's action that's being moved from our own flow, from the feminine energy. This is actually a message that was not part of last night's download. It's coming in now as we're talking about it. That's one of the beautiful things about the strength card. The strength card is the dance of our very animal, primal self and our more evolved consciousness. People say higher self. You can say that. It applies here for those who use that word. It can also be a dance of the feminine and the masculine as well, because this is an empress energy and an angelic empress energy that is holding the lion. She's not forcing the lion. She's not, and I know like taming is used with this card, and like I've used that term a lot, and I actually don't really want to use that word here. It's not really about that. It's like it's not flinching in the face of an angry lion. It's not flinching in the face of our own shadow, of our own beast, of our own animal, our own primal carnal desires. It's loving that that's there. It's actually loving that that's a part of our being and a part of our existence, and cultivating a relationship with it where we can actually be more embodied with it. So we can navigate this world in our lives in a much more embodied way, by not rejecting parts of ourselves, by not rejecting certain things that just exist in reality that are a little uncomfortable or a little scary on the surface, or undesirable in terms of like taking that said action. Become one with your noise if you're struggling to. And do it with this open-hearted, patient, compassionate manner with yourself. Don't flinch. Don't flinch. And coming to the other side of that, enjoy your happy beginnings. They're this very amazing and unexpected and beautiful and energetically intense full moon Taurus. Okay? I'm going to depart now, but there is a Patreon and website, so feel free to check that out on your way out. I would greatly appreciate it. We got a fun little community over there. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hype, comment, all that stuff. I also would appreciate it, as would other viewers here who would eventually find this message because of your like and your comment and your subscribe and your hyping. So thank you for that. And I wish you guys all the best and enjoy this time and take care.